What is it about them? What is it that makes these people killing for money so cool? Stranger from Oddworld, Boba Fett from Star Wars, Zoro from One Piece, Django and Man with No Name from old Western films. And this is only to name a few from the top of my dome. Every time there's a bounty hunter kind of character in a show, there's just something about them that is so alluring. The mystery around their origin, their melancholy mixed with stoicism, the deep raspy voice of few words. And Gondar the Bounty Hunter from the Dotaverse is no exception. He is playable in all 3 games set in the Dotaverse, and as such, his story is rich and his adventures plenty, and they intertwine with a lot of other heroes. We are going to talk about all of it, from his Dota 2 cosmetic items to artifact and underlords, but before that, let's quickly summarize who he is and the origin of his character. In Dota 2, we learn that nobody knows exactly who he is and how he was raised. Neither does anyone know what he is. We, from observation and careful examination of his forehead wrinkles though, know that he is very likely an anthropomorphic sphinx cat. If you want to know more about other furry humanoid heroes, click the top right corner. Some say he was abandoned as a kit, which I'm guessing is short for kitten, and the abandonment as a child made him have to learn to hunt just to survive. There is also a rumor that he was raised in a guild of thieves and trained by them to be stealthy, quick and deadly. Another tale of his origin, which in my opinion seems the most probable, is that he was an orphan of war taken in by the great Soruq the Hunter. And the weird language Gondar speaks sometimes is likely the same language he learned from Soruq to enchant his weapons.
Go prira! Eat crow, feet ear.
Gondar would be raised into a talented, capable bounty hunter as his disciple, eventually reaching a terror-inducing, legendary status. As long as you pay enough, Gondar can track down and bring you anyone, dead or alive. Though, due to fame, he now thinks prestige matters more than price. That being said, Gondar's prices are so high that he makes the same amount of money from one hunt as others can barely fathom to make in a lifetime. In Artifact, he is hunting one particular bounty, which is on Dark Willow's head. I will come back to this. In Underlords, all we know is Onia, the banished merchant from Revtel, who may become a playable Underlord in the future, is relieved that as long as she pays enough, Gondar's loyalty is guaranteed. We also know from Dota 2 and Artifact that he likes to bet at the courier races of Whitespire. He apparently cheats though. Whitespire is where the Underlords are battling to take Mama Eve's place as the new lord of the city. Another thing to know about Bounty is that he doesn't really care about good or evil. He's not like the anti-hero type that hunts down bad people in specific, and behind this facade of being a cold killer, he has a heart and morals. Gondar will just hunt whoever for the right price, even the good ones. Or at least, if there ever was any good in him, the world's evil has suffocated it. He does not hide the fact that he is cruel and takes pleasure in his work. He also respects shady characters like, for example, Quirtheus. The King of Slum was known to be evil, and if my theory is correct, the King of Slum and Quirtheus from Artifact are one and the same. That means that Bounty Hunter liking the Merchant King tells us how bad Gondar is, rather than how good Quirtheus is. Check my Beastmaster video for my theory about Quirtheus. In Dota 1, he has the model and dialogue of the Warcraft character Akama. He is a Draenei, who similarly to Dota 2 Gondar, has an unknown past. It's rumored he learned his exceptional skills from a ninja, and his single motivator for hunting bounties is the money. Dota 2 Bounty is almost literally the same, except with more story added. Gondar has a few pop culture references in his voice lines, like
No job is too big, no fee is too big.
From Ghostbusters,
Dead or alive, you're coming with me.
From RoboCop, and
You can run, but you can't hide.
from the movie Liar Liar. Gondar's design is very inspired by the spaghetti western aesthetic, and he even has a set called Hunter with No Name, which is a reference to the iconic Clint Eastwood character Man with No Name. But we learn that he is from an unknown kind, likely meaning that he's from far away. This, combined with the name of some of his abilities, like for example Janata and Shuriken, makes me think that his design is also a homage to samurai films. Cowboy meets Shogun. Old samurai and Italian western films were very inspired by each other, and for some reason they just work and have similar energy. If you like The Seven Samurai from 1954, chances are high you're probably also going to like The Magnificent Seven from 1960. Just look at Tarantino's Kill Bill, for example, which definitely, deliberately mixes cowboy American culture with Japanese culture, both in the story, characters, music, and setting. I don't know for sure if this is the intention with Dota 2's Bounty Hunter, but it's just such a classic, tasteful combination that I don't believe it's a coincidence. But enough trivia, let's get back to his lore. Before Gondar became a big boy celebrity, when he was still learning from his master Soruq the Hunter, the two of them plus a second disciple forged a sacred bond. Though, no matter how close the three were at the time, eventually the second disciple betrayed them and stole Soruq's secrets to share with the army of the infidel. One rumor about Bounty's past we learn from his bio is that he was the one who took down Soruq the Hunter. But this second disciple story heavily implies that it was him who got their master killed, not Gondar. Because Gondar got enraged by the betrayal and put aside the bounty hunting to instead join the infidel army so he could get revenge on the second disciple. Another one of his early mentors was Tibara, the master of single strike execution. She was an infamous hunter who many favored if they needed someone back alive, ironically enough. Other characters Bounty respects is hunted characters like Tide Hunter, Sniper, and Drow.
Tide Hunter, let us hunt together.
And invisibility heroes like Marana, Templar Assassin, and Ricky. Especially Ricky.
Ricky Maru, I didn't see you join us.
Ricky and Bounty seem to be rivals, and they may have had an uncomfortable encounter in the past.
Ricky, I've always known you were a backstabber.
Of the many bounties he has tracked, some are more legendary than others. We learn from his Dota bio that he tracked down the mad tyrant King Goff, who had gone into hiding, and that he captured the legendary thief Whitecape of Highseat. These characters and places, the mad tyrant King Goff and Highseat, may or may not be loosely inspired by Joffrey Baratheon and Highgarden of the A Song of Ice and Fire universe, or Game of Thrones, as the television series is called. Gondar also killed the Crimson Cutthroat, as requested by the family of the criminal's victims. This was one of his most difficult jobs. The desert biome is one Gondar frequents, especially the kingdom of Kaldin. Kaldin is in the Scintillant Waste, where a djinn turned the sentient sands into the Sand King. Bounty Hunter may have killed a djinn. The Kaldin Assassins is an elusive faction, and only the best of the best hunters can hope to own their luxurious black blades. Gondar, of course, owns a set. Pangolier has also been to Kaldin and likes their food. Bounty Hunter is part of the Pangolin Guild, who hunts down pangolins for their valuable scales. The Brass Herald of Ironfog in particular may have requested Gondar to specifically hunt down Pangolier.
I hope the Brass Herald paid you enough to die.
To the west of the Scintillant Waste, the desert that contains Kaldin, you find the desert of Misrule, where Lena was sent when her parents couldn't handle her. To the far east though, there is an incredibly hot place where both Lena and Bounty Hunter has been. The people there worship the solar goddess, which may be also tied to Marana. Then there's the whole Meatbow and Dark Willow ordeal in Revtel. Basically, Dark Willow's father is Lord Sumbreeze, who is one of the three mighty merchant kings of Revtel. Quarthius of Slom, the Brass Herald of Ironfog, and Lord Sumbreeze, who is presumably the leader of the fairies. Bounty Hunter loves working with them because the morals are so loose in Revtel and there's a lot of money flowing around.
Revtel is my favorite place to do business. Their morals are loose, but their contracts are fair. Whenever I took a job from the Brass Herald, Lord Sunbreeze or Quarthius, I knew they'd make good.
Mareska grew up in royalty, but didn't like it. So she rebelled, stole her father's heirloom, and burned his estate down. For this reason, Lord Sumbreeze hired Bounty Hunter to track her down.
I'm never going back to Revtel, Gondar. Try to force me and you're a dead man.
Lord Sumbreeze is willing to pay handsomely to anyone who is able to return his daughter to him alive, which is somewhat unfortunate because dead is significantly easier for me. Oh well, the customer is always right. Looks like it's time to hunt a fairy.
And judging by Artifact's card art, he succeeded in capturing her. But we don't have any evidence that he has actually successfully delivered her to her father. In fact, Dark Willow's Dota 2 voice lines, which refer to the Artifact events in past tense, suggest that she is free and doesn't mention anything about returning to her father. So, how did she escape? Well, every shady character seems to know the Meatbows. Gondar and them have worked together in the past.
Hey, Hunter! I took care of that thing for you.
And they are good friends with Dark Willow. But in Artifact, their story is that they have a lot of death and angry, powerful people, including Mama Eve, who got assassinated in Underlords, hunting them down for money they owe. So to try and solve that, they just want to save Dark Willow. So the plan is to wait until Bounty Hunter captures her, then free her, and then she will somehow help them. The outcome of this is uncertain, but my current theory is that Gondar successfully captures Mareska, but then before he can deliver her to her father, Meepo saves her, and maybe they even solve Meepo's problems. But this would be a huge issue for Bounty's character, as he prides himself in never missing a mark and the fact that there's no job he can't complete. So that's it for Gondar the Bounty Hunter and his fabled wife. Though I love his aesthetic and he has a lot of stories connected to him and a lot of relationships, I have to admit that I'm a little bit disappointed at how shallow he is as a character. As I was digging through things and thinking about what to make this video about, I was expecting to find something more juicy than just what is already known. And there is some theories about King Goff or Joff, that Bounty killed, him being the king of Som because he also had a scepter. But other than that, there's not much to him. Though his design is really cool and the stories are cool, I guess being shallow is part of the type of person that kills for money. I'm hoping that when Snapfire comes out, since she also has a Western or Southern American culture kind of thing going on, I hope maybe that will add some more to his lore. Maybe show a side we haven't seen. Maybe expanding upon the fact that the one time he did show some deepness to his character when Soruq the Hunter was killed by the second disciple. Maybe they will do something more about that. I don't know. I just feel like there's so much potential for something more, you know? So I'm kinda annoyed at that. Or maybe they would give more hints about him and Ricky having more past or something. Maybe Ricky was the one who, on top of the second disciple, made Bounty see the evil in everything and not want to be good at all. Or, I don't know, something. Please, just something. Anyways, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and peace.